JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Tea Time with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the 14th of December 2020. So yeah, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Monday's afternoon session where we're gonna have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel too, which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos. And of course, our JFD Bank website and specifically our JFD research page, which we also update on a daily basis. So you feel free to visit us here on jfdbank.com and click on the research tab right there on the top. So now jumping into the charts, the first one I want to pick up here is in the German DAX. It climbed back above this upside line and it's currently trading there. It's currently trading in the positive territory, and in a way everything's kind of working in favor here of the German index. We can see that yes, it is trying to climb back. So let's put it this way: if it remains today above this upside line, then yes, there is a chance for this one to push back north again, especially if it also climbs back above this 13,347 territory. I spoke about this level previously. For now, I will say if the index remains above this upside line, I'll take a bit of a cautiously bullish approach. But if it starts pushing above the 13,347 territory again, now that's where it could become a little bit more interesting again for more buyers. Now jumping into Dow Jones Industrial Average, the index is still closed. Yeah, the index is still closed, but somehow it's showing me here the candle, the 14th December candle. But anyway, basically what I'm going to say here is with this index, you can see that on Friday the Dow Jones Industrial Average managed to remain within this rising wedge pattern. Now, if you remember last week, I talked a lot about this, and basically, of course, according to all the TA rules, you know that these patterns tend to break to the downside. However, also what I've mentioned to you guys previously was that we cannot really talk about the downside until we get that break and we see the daily candle staying below this the lower side of the rising wedge. You can see that we had a break excuse me, on Friday, but the bulls managed to kind of lift the index back up here, and well, I mean, as you can see, the index kind of stayed within this pattern. So if we take a look at the cash index and where it's currently trading at, so we'll see that it's kind of trying to make its way up again, and the price is currently sitting near the 30,250 mark. So basically, we are climbing here. We're back above this hurdle, by the way, and yep, if we're going to take it right here, we can see that we're near the high of the 8th of December, which is around 30,246 level. So, but as I said, the price currently sits near the 30,250 mark, so slightly above it, and basically what it means that we are very close to the upper side of the rising wedge pattern. So again, of course, this increases the chances for this index to move further north. However, for now, what I'm going to do here is, yes, I'll aim for slightly higher levels, but within this pattern. So keep that in mind, guys. If we break through the upper side of the rising wedge, wonderful, great news for more buyers. We are going to be hitting a new all-time high again, and well, I mean, the sky's the limit for this one then. But at the moment, all eyes are on the upper bound of the rising wedge. Another index, a dollar index, and this one is drifting lower. So we broke below this 90.59 level. Okay, so this is part of what I was talking about today. However, what I also mentioned to you this morning, guys, that I would prefer to see the daily candle remaining below this area, because if we're gonna get another false breakout, well, it's just not gonna do the trick here for more sellers. So we need to see that daily candle below this area. If it doesn't, if it's just gonna give us a false breakout, then I'm back to kind of being a little bit, let's say, cautiously bearish, because let's not forget that we're still trading below this downside line taken from the high of the 4th of November. So, but if this stays below this area, below this 90.59 level, then yep, I'll start looking at that possible test of that psychological 90 level. Silver is moving higher. Of course, weaker dollar is helping the commodity sector to rise a little bit here. However, to be honest, it's still nowhere where I would like it to be, and where I would like it to be, for example, here, in order to consider the upside, first of all, I would like to see a nice good push above the current highest point of December, and that's around here near this 24.86 level. A further push north, of course, hits the tests the psychological 25 territory, and if that gets cleared, well, I mean, we could start aiming for that highest point of November near the 26 mark. But at the moment, it is how it is, guys. I mean, it's currently sitting near this, it's kind of oscillating around this 21-day EMA, so that doesn't really help us, or doesn't really help neither of the bulls nor the bears. But if we want to look at some downside here, if we want to consider some lower levels, well, I would prefer to wait for a daily close below this 23.52 territory right here, which continues to provide decent support here, and a nice good drop below it, yes, could open door towards lower areas, guys. So at the moment, we are at a very interesting spot, but at the same time, very, very tricky. Bitcoin Cash, so continues to trade above this upside support line taken from the low of the 23rd of September. Last week we saw a nice reversal from this upside line, and yep, a move higher. However, as you can see, the 21-day EMA is providing decent resistance. So if we want to aim for some higher levels, well, at least wait for that daily candle kind of staying above this 21-day EMA, and then yes, we could go for some higher levels. At the moment, and we're just stuck here because we're stuck between these EMAs here. So to be honest, I'm going to leave it here, because for me, in order to consider the downside, I would prefer to wait for a violation of this upside line here, and then a drop below the 255.80 zone right here. So, and then yes, lower levels could be met, because such a move here would confirm a forthcoming lower low. Jumping into a few pairs very quickly, AUD and ZD looking quite nice here. So if you remember last time, or a couple of weeks ago, I was talking about this falling wedge, which worked out fantastically. The pair pushed further north, and what I was saying then, that my next target is going to be the 200-day EMA, and this is exactly why, because you can see that this 200-day EMA is currently providing very good resistance. So if it continues to provide resistance, then maybe we'll get a bit of a corrective move here to the downside, back towards this 21-day EMA. But if it continues to push above it, yes, I'll start aiming for some higher levels again, but I'll keep an eye on this downside line taken from the high of the 18th of August, guys, because it could provide resistance, and if it does, then we could see another slide here. So be very careful. For now, all eyes are on the 200-day EMA. If we get a push above it, yes, I'll aim for this downside line then, but if it continues to struggle to overcome this 200-day EMA shown as the black line, then, well, maybe we'll get a bit of a larger, well, actually, I wouldn't say a larger, but we'll get a correction here to the downside, at least maybe towards this 21-day EMA. USD JPY, so weaker dollar right now is kind of working well here for this pair, or should I say for this the bears of this pair. As you can see, the rate is now kind of testing this 103.65 territory. I talked about this previously, and what I was saying, that if we get a strong move below this, then yes, this opens up the door towards a possible move toward to the lowest point of November, which is roughly around the 103.18 level, or slightly below that. We do have that 103.05, which is the low here of the 12th of March of this year. So keep your eyes on that, guys. I'm not gonna drag this one way too much to the downside. I'm gonna keep an eye on this level first, because if we do see that daily candle remaining below this area, then yes, I'll aim for these levels that I just mentioned right now. GBP USD. So the pair had a brilliant move to the upside today. This morning I talked about GBP USD, and what I was saying that if we get a break above this downside line and a push above the 1.3413 level, it increases the chances for a further move north. It did push further north, but this is the point where I always say to you guys, wait for that daily candle, because as you can see, we did get that break, and now let's see if this little break here wasn't a false breakout. So if the daily candle remains below this downside line, then maybe actually the bears are not strong enough, and maybe the pair is not ready to move higher yet. So we could see a reversal back down. In that case, if you're a little bit more on the cautious side, wait for a drop below the 1.3287 territory right here, which acted as a fantastic area of support recently. If a nice drop below it, yep, could open the door back towards this upside support line drawn from the low of the 18th of May. GBP NZD, similar story. We had a beautiful recovery here, a push higher, but as you can see, this level here, the 1.8848 zone, I talked a lot about this level last week. And what I was saying, that if this area somehow provides good resistance, we might see another slide here to the downside. And if it continues to provide that good resistance, then I'll aim for the low of last week near the 1.8524 level. So let's see how this is going to play out. If it starts pushing above it, this is my little neutral territory, because for me to maybe go for slightly higher levels, I would like to see a move back above the 1.9060 level. Even maybe a little bit higher here, the high of last week near the 1.9114 zone. But again, I'll start looking at some higher levels if we get a push above the 1.9060 level. But just for that extra confirmation, a push above the 1.9114 level could do the trick for more buyers. And finally, EURUSD. So this pair is also trying to make its way higher. Of course, the weaker dollar is helping out this pair, but at the moment, guys, still the same game plan remains. I need to wait for that daily candle. If I don't get that daily candle staying above this hurdle, I'm not really I'm gonna just continue observing the price action and just going to stay neutral, because again, I don't want to get another false breakout here. And if today we already had a breakout, but will this be a nice one, a good one? Let's see how this daily candle is going to shape up. If we see the rate remaining above this 1.2155 territory today, then yes, my next target is the 1.2215, guys. That's basically, let me just scroll back into history. That's basically the low of the 6th of April. The low of 6th of April 2018. So let's see how this is going to play out, guys. But for now, let's see how this pair is going to shape up this daily candle today in relation to the 1.2155 level. So if it stays above it, then yes, I'll aim for some higher levels. If it doesn't, I'll take a bit of a neutral stand again. So I'll have to wrap it up here, guys. This was a very quick session just to see how everything's kind of getting along. I hope you liked it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it useful. So if you wanna catch up tomorrow morning, as always, my Traders Espresso, 7 o'clock GMT time, guys. For now, have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.